I'm Lauren.
And I'm Annie. Welcome to Burf Barf. The hottest place on earth.
So we do have to turn off the air conditioning in this house in order to make the sound quality so beautiful, crisp, and perfect for you.
Perfect.
So we are just going to sweat ye old titties off for your sake.
Which is great because I haven't shaved super recently. And I have dark hair, so that's
Nor
good.
me. So, do we have any announcements to begin with?
We do not have any new Patreons, but if you'd like to become a Patreon and support what we're doing, don't ask us what we're doing, but if you'd like us to keep doing it, please join us on Patreon.
We can't label it.
But before we get into our own personal races, we do have, we don't usually go through race results, but I do have some important race results that I feel like are worth mentioning on this podcast. So, first off is... Beth Shell ran the Warhammer 100, and
I've already heard about this from 3 different people this
Really?
week. People have been coming to me and being like, "Did you hear about Beth Shell?" And I was
I think it's
no,
I
what?
think it's great. So the Warhammer 100 this year in particular was super grindy. The weather sucked. It was
hot and
muddy.
rainy. Oh
Yeah,
my
hot
god!
and muddy, which
I heard
is
it was
heck of a combination.
insanely technical.
And Beth Shell there was 20 people out of 55 that finished or something.
Oh,
like
less
that.
than
Crazy,
that.
Less than that.
I think 10 or less.
Yeah. Beth Shell missed the race cutoff by minutes.
Yeah, by minutes.
But was the third female to finish.
I think she's such an incredible baller
I
and
just got
badass.
goosebumps.
I know, that's amazing.
Oh.
It's amazing.
So Beth, I think it's such a cool, dope thing that you cross the finish line. The RD, I think was really great about just calling out Beth and being he couldn't give her the third place award because of the time cutoff and felt from an RD perspective, he had to be objective that way.
Yeah.
But was just super complimentary and recognizing that she crossed the finish line in a really tough race.
She's amazing. I've been seeing her out at Clear Creek for the whole season, grinding just crazy miles. If you go out for a training run and you need multiple pacers, you know that you're doing some baller ass training.
Yeah,
I would see her and then I'd see her with a new person and then I'd see her with a third person and I'd be like, wow, you are running a lot today. Yes, she's an incredible baller. And I've always said I didn't know her very well years ago. And then I got to know her a little bit better as sort of our race careers moved on. And the more that I got to know her, the more I saw she has this incredible tenacity. And I feel like I can be somebody who is fuck this, fuck that, fuck all of this. And I feel like maybe we used to be both fuck that people. And I feel like we're both coming into we can do hard things kind of mode.
Sure.
And so I really feel like a sisterhood, a kinship
of ex-fuck-thatters.
Of ex-fuck-thatters with Beth Shell. But I have to say, I am not the kind of lady that could run 36 hours right now. That is just not something I want or could do.
I just want to point out that we did a 36-hour race 3 weeks
ago.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. Anyway, we tip our hats to you, Beth Shell.
Beth Shell. The other race result worth calling out is also a DNF, and I just feel like these are exemplary race results. Jessica K.
Oh, Jessica K. Wow. We love you and your crew so much, and we know that you spent so much time and energy and love and hard effort into preparing for Bighorn and went out there and gave it your fucking all, and sometimes your stomach just does you wrong, and boy, we both know what that's like when your body just rejects you. Annie's had days of farts, I've had days of puking, and neither of we have been we can't go on.
I think stomach issues are probably the worst.
I think so too, because if you can essentially almost cut a whole toe off and be like, oh, that hurts. I bet I could keep walking though.
I have felt less strife with a stress fracture than I have with nausea.
Yeah, nausea is just this thing that can take the beastliest people down. And,
yeah.
Oh, man.
And you've had to spend more time in a race dealing with plantar fasciitis than diarrhea. No, reverse.
Reverse.
You've had to spend more time dealing with diarrhea than PF during a race. I feel like that's good context.
Who, me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what? Who's dirty laundry are we airing here? Yeah, we're welcome to air my poops anywhere. Yeah.
But yeah, I give mad respect for going for a Bighorn 100 as your first 100 because there's like a national shortage of women putting themselves in these crazy hard scenarios, and Bighorn 100 and Warhammer 100 are two such key examples of going pussies to the wall. So yeah, Jess.
Yeah, we love you and you're a bad bitch. Oh, I love when the best of race reports are DNFs. That's great.
Yeah.
Also, Sam Hartman, Warhammer DNF. We also tip our hats to you.
Yep. It's like a Viking funeral of race results. We set you out in a boat and caught you on fire.
We forgot to do what's in your drink? What's in your drink?
What's in your drink?
I'm having my favorite beverage in the world right now, which is Athletic Brewing Company's Cerveza Atlética.
Yours sounds cool.
An NA light copper beer, and also within my koozie that is also Athletic Brewing Company. So it is the bomb. Also, I have a peach bubbly bevy.
Oh, nice.
So I got my fake beer and my
thought
fake
you
water.
Just had two fake beers.
Nope. Fake water and fake beer.
I have Mio brand Ecto Cooler caffeine drink. It's not the official name, but it looks like boogers. It makes me feel bad.
Wow, I don't think a lot of people want any of the drinks we're having tonight. We used to drink things that people were probably like, oh, that sounds good.
And a dirty Nalgene full of water.
Gross.
Refreshing.
Before we talk about anything serious, which we never do, I want to share something totally bizarre off the wall with everybody.
Oh.
And if you have more information about this topic, I would like you to please get in touch with me. And also know that Annie knows nothing about what I'm about to tell you.
Here we go.
So I was at the Walrus the other night having some food with a friend, and which is a bar downtown in Columbus. And I looked at, we were on the patio, and I saw a door that goes upstairs, which is right downtown, like smack in the middle of downtown.
You just went through the door and went up there without anybody giving you permission, didn't you?
I really, really wanted to and almost did.
Okay.
Because the little painted sign on the door advertised for a place called Billionaire Maverick Jimmy Morelli. Congratulations. Welcome. And I was like, okay, and it also says like high intensity, high voltage cardio. And I was like, voltage? Do they electrify you? So I immediately went to Morelli.com, which I also encourage you to do, because it is the most bizarre website that is just text script and and also an image of maybe a runner running under a palm tree. Okay. It's brief enough that I have to read it to you because it's blowing my fucking mind.
Please. Divulge.
This is the advertisement website for, I guess, a high voltage exercise studio in downtown Columbus. An internship, we're off to a weird start, engineered for the true sportsman with a certain willfulness and percentage of molecule. To think, move, and create, located in the futuristic 143 East Main Street downtown. Here it comes. High voltage luxury.
I can't.
Always experimental, boundless and irreverent. The ingredients are, I know you want to know.
Writing them down.
Calisthenics.
Calisthenics.
Brick walls.
Brick walls.
Suspended frankincense and myrrh. It's actually, so the way the words are disjointed, it's supposed to say suspended hardwood floors, but I don't even know.
Does that make it better?
No.
I feel like I understand
They're
suspended frankincense and myrrh better than
by side.
suspended wood floors.
Words are side by side. So, okay, our ingredients so far are calisthenics, brick walls, suspended hardwood floors, frankincense and myrrh. But wait, there's more. Fire, exotic tropical plants, in a prescription of the side effects are always, sometimes, maybe capital letters, powerfully refreshing with a smooth, delicious aftertaste of self-made independence and unlimited good luck. For reservations, call 614-506-8970. So if you think that you just had a stroke and you don't know what podcast you're on.
Did you just stumble upon a bachelor party or a show company?
I don't know. But my question now, it's also the website is signed, Ciao, Jimmy Morelli. So my question now is, should I give up all the training I'm doing, fire your coach,
training.
Stop with your plan, don't do Rob Krar's 50-mile plan anymore, just sign up for high voltage luxury.
And you've been training on unsuspended wood floors like a plebe!
With no frankincense or myrrh. Okay, so tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., I'm going to call the billionaire maverick because I want to see, and I think it's going to be worth it. I kind of have a cap in my mind of how much I'm willing to spend to go to a high voltage luxury calisthenic experiment.
Do you think it's actually
It can't be real. It can't be real. However,
have you Googled the phone number yet?
No, but I will.
Or you could just leave it unknown.
No, I'm going to call and I'm going to go if you can go. But I'm also going to wear spy glasses and have an emergency button. I don't know.
Maybe I'll go with you,
okay,
depending on what it is.
Okay, so here's what it's triggering in my memory, which is a very weird thing that I didn't realize until now.
That you've done a high voltage workout before.
I've already done this. I should probably call it off. Years ago, my sister and I were down at Sidebar, which is like a fancy cocktail bar across the street, and I remember leaving there, looking across the street, and seeing a bunch of tropical plants in a window with people naked doing yoga. And I was like...
That's not high voltage, though.
No, it's not. But if you don't speak English, maybe it is.
That's only frankincense and myrrh. That's not high voltage.
I don't know.
High voltage is universal.
Also, it looked like someone's home. It looked like two people who were lovers doing weird sex yoga. And now you fully realize you're in the wrong podcast.
That's not the language that aligns with that.
But it's where it was. And there were tropical plants.
Oh, that's where it was.
That's where the business was.
However, the fact that used to be a business where it was a yoga space tells me that maybe there is actually athletic things being conducted up there because the space would be ready for an actual workout class if it used to be prepared for a
it's a
yoga
studio.
Space. Yeah.
But they electrified the floor? Okay, let's come talk
this
about...
This concludes our ad for a cajillionaire, billionaire,
Morelli.com.
Morelli.com.
Yeah, so if you know anything about that and you live in Columbus, or if you don't live in Columbus, please...
Then you've already died.
You've already been electrified and died. Yeah, I had to share that because it's been wigging me out.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about what we came to talk about.
Sex, baby.
Sex yoga. Let's talk about
all the good things and the bad things that baby. Let's talk about them. Okay.
Oh God, what have we done?
So great pivot into, I'll say our own race reports. So last weekend, was it last weekend or 2 weekends ago? Was it
two?
Was it two?
No,
it was two.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if it was last weekend, time really has no meaning, but. My brain's still a little melty because the heat has really cranked up.
Yeah, it's very warm in here.
Okay.
So the Lang family did something bonkers.
I will say I struggle a little bit with our podcast episode format when we have two individual
separate.
experiences.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Because all I want to do is bounce back and forth between the two. It doesn't make any sense to do it
that way. No, we
can't
can't do it that way.
We have to go through one then the other.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
So, what did you guys do? What was it called? You're so resigned to not do that you can't stand the format. Fine.
I can't stand it.
No, you gotta.
All right. So the Lang family, which is me, my husband Andy, and my nearly 9-year-old but still 8-year-old daughter Arbor, we had signed up for our first ever family adventure race, and I'm not used to reading through whole websites.
I'm actually really shocked by that.
Period. Let alone all the I'm not used to registering Arbor for races.
Yeah.
So we were going to sign up for the Michigan Adventure Race in Cannonsburg, Michigan, which was a 6-hour event that they changed to 8 or 5 to 6, something like that. It was less than double-digit hours.
Okay.
So whatever.
Yeah.
So I signed all 3 of us up to be our first family adventure race, and I emailed the RD after one of the race emails. The highly reputable Mark Von Tongren, who has actually been a resource for the USARA Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Task Force,
cool.
because he does a lot of things for his races to make sure that they're accessible.
Amazing.
Which I love.
Love him.
And so I emailed him after sending out a race email and said, like, hey, should we bring our own youth PFD or will those be available? And he was like, well, the minimum age for the race is 14.
So they should be able to fit an adult-sized PFDs.
And I was like, oh, and luckily I had said, like, should we bring the youth PFD for my 8-year-old? And he was like, the minimum age is 14. I'm so sorry. I moved the minimum age up on the race registration page so that it's easier to see, so this won't happen again.
Was it a waiver liability issue?
That's my understanding, yes. So he said that part of the race was on a road with a narrow shoulder and was even like, hey, is there somebody that could take her to the paddle and the trekking section so she could still do the parts of the race that she could do, which I totally get. There was a fatality at an adventure race in Florida,
don't mess
so
with
like
it. I
totally
get it.
understand,
I get
like
it.
total understandable, but it sucked a little bit, but I like... And
Scrap that.
And also Mark made it right. So we scrapped that and we're like, okay, we still want to do something adventurous and hard as a family because we've been like mentally preparing for this. Yes, I didn't say physically prepare, but I said mentally prepare.
Yeah.
And we were looking up gravel
Whatever, you've
grinder
all
routes.
been riding a lot. You've been doing your own gravel grinders, and your husband and daughter have been doing major bike routes every single weekend. So
absolutely.
yes, everyone has been preparing.
This is true.
Check
I'm
yourself
down playing
before
ourselves.
you wreck yourself.
So we were looking at gravel grinder routes, and in particular a longer one. We haven't done a century yet as a family this year. We did 2 last year, and they were on the bike path. So I was like, let's do something that's not the bike path.
Let's turn it up.
Yeah, because
let's create resistance.
Yeah, we know we can do 100 miles on a bike path, and we found the Coast to Coast gravel grinder, which is the main event is a 200-mile gravel grinder. Bike gravel grinder that goes across Michigan from coast to coast for the Great Lakes. And they have a 100-mile route that starts in the same place as a 200-miler, but is a big loop that comes back to the same place that it starts. So we said, hey, let's do the course. We didn't do the race, but we were like, let's do the 100-mile course that is the coast to coast 100-mile gravel grinder.
Okay.
Fun fact that we didn't know until after we decided to do this. The Coast to Coast gravel grinder has the same RD as the Michigan Adventure
That
race.
is insane. That's totally insane.
So I still have it on my to-do list to send Mark an email and be like, hey, we kind of did one of your other races.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
You have to do that. You have to tell him.
Yeah, I will. Also I want to point out that Mark was very complimentary in saying, I'm sure she would be safer than most adults.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah. So we started, and we knew it was going to be a tough day, but the idea was to start kind of like halfway in the loop. Halfway through, we would put our feet into Lake Michigan and finish the rest of the miles back to where we were staying for the night.
Start in the middle of the mitten, hit the west coast of the mitten, come back to the middle of the mitten.
Yep. And the first part of the course was relatively uneventful compared to the rest of the course. Although I say that, Arbor got a flat in the first, I'm going to say like 3 hours. So we had to change out a flat tire, do a little, it was also her first flat on a bike ride. So we were like, this seems right.
Yeah, you gotta learn.
But there was some sand because you go through Big M recreation area, which is a big recreational area up in mid to northern Michigan. And that was a little difficult because Andy and Arbor were both on gravel bikes. I was on my big 27.5 Boost mountain bike, and I was like, this seems fine.
Just gobbling it up, like no big deal.
And
like
they're just like slicing into it.
Like cutting into the ground was really hard.
But it wasn't too long at that point, so it was kind of like, oh, well, this mixes it up. We ended up doing pretty much every kind of dirt texture that you can think of, like sand, dirt, dirty
hard
road,
pack,
pavement,
grass,
concrete, everything, like every flavor. So we get to Ludington, which is the halfway point. We have I think Arbor ate the most ice cream she's ever eaten at once.
That's amazing. A+ work, Arbor. Wow.
And then we went next door to the gas station and had some potato chips. And then we went to Lake Michigan and put our feet in Lake Michigan on a hot day, which was just
delicious.
Lake Michigan is beautiful.
And very cold.
And very cold, which is great. It was the perfect day that you actually want to be on the beach, which to me is like 90 and up.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And then we waded out into Lake Michigan. It was great. Desanded, got back on our bikes. At this point, I was trying hard not to do too much math because we had started at 6:30
a.m.
On
a Saturday.
And I think it took us. By the time we put our feet in Lake Michigan, which granted was like ice cream time and convenience store time and everything, I think it was 8 hours at that point.
But you were prepped. You had gear. You had headlamps.
Yep.
You knew that might happen.
Yep.
I mean, just looking at the sheer mileage and texture of the ground, you knew that might happen.
Yep. And we were at like 44 miles at that point.
Oh, man.
So
I would have panicked.
I was just kind of like, I legitimately just turned it off. My brain was like, but math. And I was like, it doesn't matter.
Math doesn't exist. I'm
Math
good.
doesn't
I'm just going to
exist.
ride until I can't, until we're done.
Yeah. Yep. We'll sort it out. And we continue on our way and we get to go through like some awesome fields. Like there was one point Andy had brought the speaker and he was playing music. And also we hardly passed any cars except for the main roads in the city.
That's wonderful.
Like just these
low
beautiful
anxiety
gravel roads with no one on them.
That's awesome.
Like riding 3 abroad, being super like
that's fun.
conscientious of like traffic and everything. But like at one point we're going across this big beautiful farm field. 3 across, Andy's playing music on a speaker. We're all like singing out loud, and I look across at my husband.
That's like you
and daughter,
take a picture with your mind.
and I said, "I'm having a perfect moment." And Andy took a picture, so I got to have like that perfect moment. It was and the sky was beautiful. It was supposed to be risk of rain all day, but no rain panned out. Even though in retrospect, a little rain would have been good.
Yeah.
And we get to about mile 70, 75, and at this point, all 3 of us are kind of like, okay, like we're ready to start closing this out. In Arbor's mind, once you get to 35 and lower, she's like in the home stretch, which is a great
bonkers
switch.
to me.
Bonkers.
I need like 5 left to be like, okay, Lauren, we've done it.
I agree. I need like 1.5
I know you
miles.
do.
Like,
I've seen you in an adventure race be like, do not celebrate, I will kill you.
No, I need to be like, and especially when like, hey, regardless, like we have to get ourselves back to our lodging. You know, you know that you can't turn it off. Yeah,
you might have to walk 3 miles downhill to a car.
Yeah, but I was like, hey, Arbor, like we've got 25 miles left. And she was like, awesome! Like I'm so excited. This is great.
Not usually people's response.
No. So it was almost like. It was like a quarter mile after that. We hit this one road section of the course that was just loose sand.
There could not be a worse thing to try to traverse through. Other than maybe like the peanut butter mud of Fiji.
Yes. And I would say it was equivalent to deep mud. Like, so we're walking through and Andy and Arbor like can't hardly pedal at all, and Andy and I are like, okay, we're gonna cut out as soon as we get to the next road that we can cut out. It ended up being like 3 miles of sand.
That's so brutal and demoralizing.
And like there was like deer flies.
Oh, and it's super hot.
And the sunset is happening at the same time. Like,
so it's like watching the day get away from you.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, okay, we went from feeling like we spent, I want to say, about an hour and a half getting through this section. And then when we finally got to cut out, it was like, oh, good. Now we're at 78 miles.
What was morale like in the sand?
Bad, not good. Like I felt okay, but like I also was not pushing a gravel bike. Like even at one point, Arbor was pushing my bike because even with it being heavier, with the bigger tires, it was rolling easier better for her to push.
Your daughter can reach the top of your bicycle?
Yeah, she can reach the handlebars. She's a giant now. Remember?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can't. That doesn't add up in my mind.
Yeah. So she was pushing my bike for a while, and she was just like, I am miserable. She was like, I want this to be over.
But you said something to me that's really interesting, and you said that she self-described herself as miserable in a way that like an athlete would in a 100-mile race rather than like a kid being like, I can't do it anymore.
Yes.
Which is a different thing to say.
Absolutely. And she was not at all like, I'm going to quit or I'm going to sit down. She was just like
noticing.
She was just noticing.
This. Like she's more mindful than resigned.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't fun. That's just a fact.
Yep. So we're just grinding through the sand. We finally pop out and like get over to the nearest road to take ourselves back. We still have 20 miles, which, 20 miles on a bike is like I think it's more than that. So 20 miles on some gravel roads when it's starting to get dark and everybody's really pooped. Like, I mean, that's another 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, that's a long time.
Yeah.
So we're all happy to get out of the sand. We're having a little bit of like PTSD of being like, we're safe now. It's not going to be any more sand. No more sand's going to pop out at us. Don't worry, it didn't. Okay. It was just like road from then out. We just did like straight Google Maps from there back to where we were staying. And it gets to be dark. So we like stop to put our lights on our bikes and everything. And Andy's like, how about, we had discussed like the runner idea, which is always our safe backup is like, hey, if it gets really bad, one of us will like stay with Arbor. Whichever one of us feels best, we'll just ride our bikes as fast as we can, go get the car and pick us up. And so when we had 10 miles left and we're putting our lights on, Andy went ahead to go get the van. And I was like, hey, Arbor, like, we're going to keep riding our bikes because that's what will get us back home soonest. Like, even if we go 2 miles an hour, it doesn't matter. We'll just keep pedaling along. And, Arbor had felt like, I'm miserable. I just want this to be over. And it was very important to me to acknowledge that she felt like crap, but also to help her understand, like, it can feel not good or not fun, and you can still do the thing.
Good
because
lesson.
I feel like as adults we have to learn that all the time from an athletic perspective.
Oh yeah.
Like, you feel like you should feel easy when you're about to set a PR, and I don't think that's ever the case. Like,
no.
I think when you have to wring it out and scoop out all the terrible bottoms of the bucket is when great things happen.
Yeah.
So, Andy takes off to get the van. We're pedaling along. She had felt, terrible. She just hated everything. And I was like, so I heard you were telling Lauren about Minecraft.
Yeah, she told me a lot about Minecraft.
What did you tell her? I know everything she's ever said about Minecraft.
Wow.
But Arbor was like, so there was this new update in Minecraft, and she just went on and was like, what other questions do you have? I was like, tell me about the glow squid. And she was like, okay, so the glow squid, you can make a frame that makes whatever's inside of it glow, and just like complete 180, just like an adult. Like, you can feel like it's not going to get any better. Your emotions will not change. And something will swing you out of it.
There is energy to be found.
Yes. Endless energy if you're open to it.
I'm feeling that so strongly right now.
Also, we went by this big, beautiful field. And because it was so late, like, I think we stopped actually riding and Andy picked us up about 10:30. So 6:30 in the morning to 10:30 at night.
That's some ultra shit.
Yeah. But because it was so late, we went by this field, and Arbor loves fireflies. And because it was so late, she got to see all this field full of fireflies, and she like
magic.
Just energy, like just. So yeah, it was much more difficult than we had intended. I shouldn't say much more. We did it. I would say it was 25% harder than we were trying to choose, because consider if we had ended when sunset actually happened at like 9, that would have felt a lot different than riding an hour and a half into the night. That's that
changes your perspective on what you did.
It's also a little funny to me because I kept thinking with the adventure race, I was like, it's gonna be so fun to ride bikes with Arbor through the night. Like, and I was like, whoa, Annie, no, it's not that kind of an event. We're not riding through the night. It's a 6-hour adventure race. It's okay. Like, just
you're not far
titties.
from that,
You're not there yet. And then
you're also not far from it.
Yeah, and then it was like, oh wait, here we are riding with our lights into the night.
You got a little bit of what you wanted.
I got a little bit of what I wanted. But so yeah, all in all, another incredible experience of just being like, as a family, we're pretty fucking dope.
Yeah, you're pretty badass.
And Arbor is really tough.
Wow.
And just some of the epiphanies she's having about herself is amazing. And like we had the next day we were still a little bit, well, I say that the next day we went swimming in Lake Michigan and we're like, this is the best. And then on the drive home we had a little bit of commiserating about like, fuck that sand.
Yeah.
That was the worst.
Yeah.
How was that part of the race? But then as we were like almost home, she said, I'm really proud of us. And it was like, just over the course of like a day and a half went from like, this is awful. She never said like, I don't want to ever do this again. Nothing like that. But she went from like, this is a hard time. This is a big, hard thing to like, you know what? It's pretty cool that we did that.
Wow. Man, what a cool perspective for a young kid to have.
Yeah. So that was it wasn't a race, but that was our race weekend. So Mark, thanks for having a 100-mile gravel course out there that we didn't have to do any course planning. We just went and did the thing.
And didn't you say it has like incredibly tough cutoff times for the
like
actual
an
race?
8-hour cutoff for the race.
That seems impossible to me.
I don't know. There were still results that were like up to like 11 hours, which makes a little bit more sense to me. But yeah, I like must know. Like if there was a live camera on the sandy section of the course, I would watch it the whole time because I don't understand
how people get through it.
I don't understand how people get through it. Like, do you ride a fat bike the whole time just to get through the sand section? No, I don't think you do. Do you ride a gravel bike and then just carry and run with your bike through that section?
No, that would be so taxing.
Right? I must know. So those of you who do it or know of this race, please tell me how the pros or the average people get through the sandy section.
That's what I'm more interested in.
I must know.
Same.
I must know.
Same.
Well, is it a high voltage workout?
How else would you get through if you weren't electrocuted?
All right, so that was my weekend of what weekend was that?
2 weekends ago.
It
was June 12th that you did
June 12th. Okay.
Yeah. So yay Lang.
Yeah, your turn.
Why? Do you have something else you want to say?
No, I was going to like quote Strava stats, but you can always just go look at my Strava.
You can do it.
We did 95 miles. It was a pretty low amount of gain. It was like 20. I want to say it was like
20?
No, not 20. I was going to 2,000.
Okay, I was going to say, wow, not low at all. Yeah, I think June. Yeah, because you guys were out on the bikes the day before I was running.
Yeah, 95 miles. Just under 2,500 feet of gain, which all those stats were exactly where we wanted them to be. It was just our elapsed time was just under 16 hours.
I wonder, do we know the youngest kid to like run ultras?
It's pretty young.
Yeah.
It's like 11, 10
wow.
maybe.
Okay. Do we know about like the medical implications of children running ultras?
I think that's been like a conversation point, but in the same vein of like being fat is unhealthy, which is not true.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, yeah, yay Langs.
Yay Langs.
Amazing. So the day after that,
which is so funny that it was a Sunday race.
It's weird to have a Sunday race, but I think, I don't know if it's always been this way. I probably should have done more research on this race because it is a beloved and old race, the Laurel Highlands 70-mile race and 50K. I just did the 50K.
And it's 70 miles, not 70K. It's a long version.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I kept thinking it was 70K, and then there was a 50K route, and I was like, this course doesn't make any sense.
No. It is an old race. It used to be run by different race directors than it is now, and it used to be kind of like you would have to mail in a paper form in order to get in, and the people who got theirs in fastest got to be in it.
Yep.
A lot of people have done it for many, many years in a row.
Do you know how many years it's been running?
I think the ultra sign-up results go back to like 91, but I actually...
I mean, that's remarkable.
I don't know. Yeah, I should have probably researched some of that.
Well, we can just say it's old.
It's old. It's an old race and beloved by many. I would like to say that I
wish I could have harmonized on that fast enough.
I don't know why, but that's not true. So this whole race was an exercise in mindfulness and boundless energy. Unfortunately, as it turns out, I do think I peaked in late May, like looking at my data and
Okay.
like my statistics about like my heart rate and how effortless it felt to run fast on hills.
Mm-hmm.
That was all fun and dandy. And then we did the 36-hour race, and then I did the Fight for Air climb. And I think I depleted all of my reserves from both of those races so much that my watch was like overreaching, unproductive. You're dying. I also had the flu twice in 3 weeks. So my body, whatever it was. So my body was like not exactly in the mood for this.
Okay.
But my mind was, because I just feel like racing right now.
Okay. Man, that's a tough thing.
I know. It's okay.
Trying to get your brain and your body right at the same time seems nearly impossible.
I mean, I got fool's gold, as you call it, and that was a both day.
Yeah.
This was mostly there. Like, I would not say that I struggled so much that I was not not having fun. No, that's not true either. It was a journey. So,
have you given yourself a good rest period, like in the last 2 months?
No.
And I don't mean like
I
anything
rested.
bonkers. I mean,
I
like
ran 1
week.
mile a day for a week because I had the flu.
I don't know that counts.
I don't
I'd
think
love
it
to say that it does.
I don't know that it counts
Yeah.
either. It didn't feel like it counted. I mean, I've been doing nothing but I sleep and I nap every single day. I eat healthy foods. I quit drinking. Like, I'm doing everything I can to like baby my body into like
Absolutely.
feeling better, but it just wasn't exactly primed for this race.
Yeah.
So
I just want us to be able to peak. Like when you peak, I want you to just be able to stay
Blow it
peaking.
up.
It should be
Yeah.
like, okay, once you check boxes 1, 2, 3, and 4, you're done. Unless
No.
you uncheck one of those boxes.
No.
It's just not how it
I
works.
only get 1 peak a year, typically for the
Really?
last 5 to 7 years. Sometimes I get 2, but usually not.
I would venture guess that you often get 2 because I feel like BFC is nearly a peak for you most years.
Yeah, that's true. But BFC feels more like this because you are my friend and you will come along on weird journeys. It feels like I built a man out of mud with my hands
Oh.
rather
okay.
than like crafted something over a long period of time
Got
that is
it.
like beautiful. It just feels
Got it.
like I dug mud. I smack mud together,
what you
make
mean.
primal being in woods.
I
That doesn't make sense
Yes,
out
it
loud
does.
to
You're
anybody
like-
else.
So on other times you would be like, oh, I have my backpack full of everything that I need.
Uh-huh.
And for BFC, you're like, what's in my pocket? I'll make it work. I've got a knife. I'm going to cut my
Yes.
hair and I'm going to put it around my elbow. I did it. Now I'm going to take one of my laces and wrap it around my waist. Here we go.
Also, like, maybe I do every year, I'm going to drool on myself from miles 20 to 35.
Yep.
So there's just like,
Got it.
it's a weird space.
Okay.
Like, BFC is like taking a pound of mushrooms. Like,
Got it.
It's just a weird liminal space.
Okay. 1 peak a year.
Yeah, 1
Sold
peak
me.
a year.
Okay.
And then a mud
BFC.
man mushroom race.
Good. Makes sense to me.
I'm so glad that it does. I hope it makes sense to someone else. So I have been told by everyone that the first 8 miles of this race were the Hateful Eight, this terrible climb that went on forever, and there were 3 different peaks. I saw a bunch of friends at the start. I saw Chaz. I saw Erica G, who is Erica W now, but will always be Erica G in our hearts. I saw Joe. I got to run with Joe a little bit. So I did those 8. And it was not raining yet. It was still morning. I was in the fun zone. And I had said to myself, I looked at winning times from previous years from the women, and I saw it was about 6:19, 6:20. And I thought, well, I could probably make it into the top 5, top 10 zone with my current fitness. So I was watching my pace, and it was like dropping way down into like hysterically bad. Like
It's hard when it starts on a climb.
1640.
You don't have anything to balance it out.
No,
Yeah.
and I thought that's fine. I'm climbing strong, and I feel good in my body, and I know that climbing is I'm doing well in climbing right now.
How are you doing compared to the people around you?
I don't even notice.
Okay.
There are people who keep passing me, and then I keep passing them because I think they're panicking that I'm passing them.
Okay.
I'm around a lot of brand new people who've never done ultras. Every time I hear someone talk, they say, "This is my first ultra," and I'm like, okay. And they were these 2 women were running it, and I was like, "What's your goal time?" And they were like, "Around 8," and I was like, "You need to slow down." Because I'm trying to go for like 6:15.
Yeah.
And I was really powering.
Yeah.
And I was like, you guys are running by me up hills. If 8 is your goal and you've never done this, consider slowing down. But then I also heard somebody mansplaining them. And then I turned back to them and I said, you should run how you feel.
Yeah.
Have a good day. Because I realized that like, I can't tell you how to be.
Yeah.
And listening to men try to tell them how to be made me be like, ugh, kick you in the schwanz. So I got past that first 8 and was like, oh, that wasn't that bad. I feel good. I feel strong. I feel energized. I'm ready to do these runnable miles for the next 20 miles.
Dun, dun, dun.
They never happened. They never happened. So I got to about mile 10 and I was like, this is still a little uphill. And then the sky opened up and it rained so hard it was blinding and the trail flooded.
Boy.
Like 3 inches, 5 inches of standing water. Really technical, jagged rocks. I got the right shoes because Annie Lang told me what kind of shoes to get. I got Vibram Mega Grip soles, which was the only move.
I cannot recommend this enough. So Vibram has several outsoles, but specifically the Vibram Mega Grip version, it seems to be the only thing I can find that works at all on wet rocks.
It was so critical. I got the brand new version of the Hieros, which I've run in for years and years. I've run in 5 iterations of the Hieros. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. It's a New Balance show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Row.
nailed it.
Got it. So thank God for those. I matched up with a 19-year-old dude from Ohio State named Adam Susel, who was running his first 50K, who was awesome and delightful to run with. I ran with him for miles with an idea of what he looked like in my head and finally turned around and was like, nope, not even close. You just can't guess what somebody looks like. So between miles 10 and 18, I realized that the entire time I was running, I was thinking, I'm going to tell those motherfuckers who told me that this part was going to be runnable, that I hate them and that they're stupid and that they're wrong. And I had this cyclical, nonstop negative self-talk, like I was prepping to yell at people. And I became more and more aware of that and was like, you run when you can, walk when you can't, be appreciative that you're in the woods. And then like the rain started to let up. And then I had decided at like mile 18 to 20, I was like, you must let this go. What kind of person are you that you're running a race thinking about the nasty things you're going to say to someone when you're done? Yeah. What a waste. What a waste of your energy. And then I was like, you have boundless energy. You really do love this, even if it's hard. It's like the thing that you like to do. And then I was like, you're right, Lauren. It is exactly that. And then, I mean, I ran pretty well the whole race, but like, I think I ran with a little bit more grace and pep in my step after that, because I was just like, don't waste your time. This is marvelous.
Yeah.
I would like to say the logistics and the like aid stations at this race were A+++++. Like 12 out of 10. This course is very tricky. It's very technical. It's very wet and humid. But if you like all those things and you live in the Midwest, you're probably going to do these races no matter what. You're going to do races that sound like all of those descriptions.
As a like 101 backup, Laurel Highlands is in Pennsylvania near Ohio Pile. Mm-hmm. Pennsylvania, also known sometimes as Roxylvania.
Yeah, we got a lot of that. But the race director was dope. I think there are 3 of them. I interacted with one of them. The busing was perfect. The start was perfect. The registration was perfect. It was just... Why are you smirking at me?
Oh, because I want you to share, like, going to the aid station and being like...
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, the aid station. I can't fucking tell you. I was like...
We love a good aid station.
Oh, my God. Through COVID, I've done a few in-person races, and they've been like, we have, like, Ziploc baggies of wet Rice Krispie treats, and that's all, but please don't touch us and don't come near us. And I'm like, no, I don't want anything. Thank you. The aid stations were every single kind of food ever, like old school ultra running.
Do you have gummy bears?
I was like, yeah, do you have gummy bears? They're like, yeah. I was like, do you have cold Mountain Dew? They were like, mm-hmm. I was like, do you have ibuprofen? And they're like, mm-hmm. I was like, do you have bags of ice? And they're like, yeah. And I was like,
I've done it.
I was so fucking stoked. And they had all of that at every aid station.
So
and
good.
They insisted, ghosts. They insisted on filling up your bag for you.
Oh,
and
concierge service.
Like putting your tailwind in for you and then putting your lid back on. Like,
did they put your impossible slider back on correctly?
No,
on your
it
bladder?
Got stuck several times.
Yeah.
I need to burn it. I know. But they were just...
If you are a proud owner of a bladder producing company and you're looking to sponsor someone, may we introduce you to Burp Barf.
That would be amazing. Yes, so the aid stations were concierge level, fantastic. Also, there were so many people cheering at every road intersection.
Oh,
like,
that's so cool.
Seriously, between 30 and 50 people at every road intersection. And also, you should know that this is obviously a point-to-point because I mentioned the buses. So you park at the 30-mile and then you get bussed back to the start, which is at like a kayaking outdoor place.
Got it. Do you run away from Ohio Pile,
You run
right?
away and up. You run up and you stay up.
Yeah.
And then you gradually go up and then you go up for 31 miles.
I'm still looking for the name of what this stat is, but I feel like this should be a thing that gets referenced when talking about any kind of course, whether it's bike or on foot or whatever. Like, the difference between climbing, let's say, 100 feet over 10 miles is very different than climbing 100 feet in 1 mile.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would much rather climb 1,000 feet in 1 mile than climb 1,000 feet over 10 miles.
Exactly. Yes. So this is like water torture. And you'll be like, you'll look at it and you'll look around and you'll be like, I know we're supposed to run it, but I can't. I can't run it. So I tried a lot. In the end, the course ended up being 6,200 feet of elevation gain, which is almost a Not Yo Mama's 50K.
Yeah.
That's nothing to sneeze at.
You should talk about your detour.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I also matched up with a couple folks that I knew from other events. I saw Kevin, who was part of a 2-man orienteering team that we knew from Nitro Gain. Kevin! And his partner, Sydney, who's an incredible adventure racer, orienteer, and ultra runner. We're like obsessed with you guys. You guys are amazing.
I know. I'm so glad that you got to. We're acting like they're listening to this. Maybe they are.
Maybe they are. They might be.
I'm so happy that you got an opportunity to share how much we like have gushed about them.
Oh yeah.
Orienteering events.
Oh
just
yeah.
being like, what? Why?
Oh yeah.
How?
I had to ask him. I was like, on this map, how did you guys make it around the pond in the middle of the night? And he was like, oh, we swam. And I felt like that cracked open the secrets of all of orienteering, where you're like, how did you guys run around a 5-mile pond? And you're like, oh, the fastest way from A to B is a straight line. We swam in the dark in the middle of the night. Okay. Anyway, I saw some folks we met at Trans Rockies who recognized me because I was wearing a Burf Barf hat. I love the feeling that, like, you're in the right place. You're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm with my people. And I definitely got, like, some sense of that.
It's almost as if we're, like, part of a community.
Oh.
It's very nice to think about.
So I was yo-yoing with, so there's also relay folks. So if you get past at the speed of light, you just have to pray to God they're a relay person.
Yeah.
So this woman who was like tattooed, pigtails, wearing neon colors, and I ran by her and I was like, I also love tattoos, neon colors, and pigtails. Have a good day. And she was like, what?
Please tell me you actually said.
I've said all of those words to her.
Thank
she
you.
was like,
She's like, oh, I'm doing the relay and my brain is not melted.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't understand that.
Exactly. So she came past me again and was like, hey, good news. You've got a really cool downhill coming up. You're going to like crest at the ski lodge or the ski mountain, and then you'll come down the ski mountain. And I was like, yeah, buddy, that sounds tight.
I did not have that piece of information before. Okay.
So I got to the top of the ski mountain, and for the first time ever, there were no trees above me, and the sun was out. It was 80 degrees, full humidity, which was a little bit brutal. So I did my old-fashioned pitchel move, which is I soaked my hanky and I put it on my head and did the Forrest Gump because I didn't want any sun touching my head. It was very well marked. There were yellow flags everywhere. I was going down a windy gravel road that felt very much like Trans Rockies and everything I've ever done in, like, Colorado ever, where you're like, you go to the ski mountain and then you spend 7 miles descending a winding gravel road, which is really fun.
Yeah.
Until you pass out.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you first told me this story, I thought you were getting ready to tell me that you blacked out. I was like, okay.
It seems like the place to do it.
This is the thing.
So I'm winding down and I'm running 9s, maybe like sub 9s, like, I am reeling it in. We're almost at like mile 26 and I'm like, doing the thing, burning it out. Like, I can phone this in, even if it's technical.
Some of this, yeah.
I was ready to dump it all out. And then I get to this intersection, and I realize there's no yellow flags around me, and I was like, no. And I look around, and I just yelled no. And I was like, I said out loud, I'm going to cry. And then I said, no, you're not. No, you're not. What would Annie do? And I was like, download All Trails. Okay, so I guess that's what we're doing. So I downloaded All Trails and Gaia, and I found out where I was on a map, and then 2 guys came down the hill, and I went, "Help, I'm lost!" And they were like, "For real?" And I was like, "Yeah, a little. But we're like a mile off course." And they were like, "Fuck."
Because it was just
no.
straight down, right?
Yeah, straight down. So went back uphill. Luckily, not a whole mile uphill because I cut through some stuff. And then got back to the trail and was just like, that sucks, because I felt like I was still in a place where I was going to finish at like what I would call my normal 50K time, which is right around the 7:30 zone. I ended up finishing at 7:37, and I probably added at least 25 minutes to my day.
So you actually had a really good day plus a ski detour.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in the end that's true. I ended up with a 15-minute mile average pace, and I love the grade adjusted pace, because Gelfie always made me feel better. He'd be like, "But look at the grade adjusted pace."
Yeah.
Which was like 12:47, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds amazing."
Heck yeah.
It's not actual data. It's feel better data.
Hey, it's based on an algorithm. That makes it real data.
Sure. But I got to the end, and you have to do this little like loop jog around a parking lot, which is kind of a bitch slap.
Just to make the 50K mark
Yes,
happen? No.
it's kind of a bitch slap. I still only ended up with 30 and a half miles, even with a 1.5 mile detour.
You should have been like, I did a detour. I'm not going around the parking lot.
Yeah, right.
That's how that works.
So in the end, I feel super good about my work, and I feel good that I feel like I was gifted a small hardship to give myself some clarity. Like, wow, if you get so mad that your whole day is ruined over like some rocks and roots going uphill, like, you have some problems, miss. Yeah. So I was like, okay, got it. I love this. It's fun and hard, and I came to do it, and that's what I did. I can't imagine running the 70 miles of that course, because it's so technical, and it's the kind of technical that you've seen me be like really pitiful on before.
Yeah.
Pitchel technical, where I've just been like, I can't. I don't want to touch a rock anymore.
Is it 70 mile one way or
one way?
back?
Yeah.
One way.
One way.
But I would be interested the difference the rain makes, because like on rocks, that's a pretty big difference. Also, you should practice saying this as I am readjusting my brain for my own mindset on climbing. You can do technical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just you
uphill is a little rough, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that I excelled on that I'll put in my pocket for another rainy day is that I saw a lot of participants running off trail to avoid deep mud and puddles of water, and I just Clydesdaled through the middle, like at full fucking
Don't
tilt.
fox with that. Yeah.
No, the more you think about it, the more time you spend on it, and so I just plowed through, and I was soaked all day. Like, you're not gonna get dry when it's 85% humidity outside. You're just not. So,
awesome.
In the end, I love the race director. I understand the culture around it. Would I do it again? I would have to have a tremendous amount of amnesia to do so, but I do recommend it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Have you seen results yet?
The results are actually still not posted to Ultra Sign Up. I actually contacted the race directors today to be like, hey, what's happening with that?
Yeah.
Because the actual results that they have up temporarily incorporate the relay finishers, so you can't really see where you stand. But the pictures, the professional pictures are wonderful.
They are really good.
They're very good. Like, really nice fog textures and like crispy trees, and it just looks beautiful. So you get a lot for the value of the race, and a really cool shirt. So.
Also, have I seen the shirt?
The branding is really good. It's just what's odd is like it's a really big mountain, and you're like, that's not what the Midwest looks like.
It should just be like the climb and then a flat.
Yeah, that's what it should be.
Yeah,
because that's what it is and feels like. But yeah, anyway, that was my race.
Laurel Highlands.
Laurel Highlands.
I feel like that's a classic.
It is a classic.
Like, it's like on the list of like a well-rounded portfolio of ultras.
There's also a Triple Crown that you can do, which is Heiner, World's End, and Laurel.
Oh Jesus, that's rough.
Oh, you might as well stay home and punch yourself in the dick.
Whoa. Wow.
with that.
Yeah, I just want to revel in that just a second longer.
Oh.
You did Laurel Highlands.
Yeah.
Cool. Our next thing coming up, I've got an adventure race coming up next weekend. Not next weekend, in 7 days. that I'm stoked to be running with two women. I have never done the adventure race with people I don't know thing, and I'm super excited that it will be with Deb Flout and the one and only Sarah Dahlman.
Wow.
Which,
Baller.
yeah.
Baller status. I have no races for a while. I have She Ventures Camp and then Bailey's Race Weekend.
However, we do have our annual giant bike ride on the 4th of July weekend coming up,
That's
which is
nothing.
just, it's,
We're going to make it bigger this year.
I love it.
Can't wait to tell you about it.
Yeah. More on that later. But until next time,
We are
Burf Barf!